Let's get some prize picks in today, guys. Last night did not go well at all. You could see the slip went 1 and 5. Both first quarter props missed. This one's pretty funny here. Right after he got his 5th point, he basically got ejected on Thompson here. So chalk there, chalk on Booker's first quarter. And then Wagner was pretty much projected to go over, but he ended up getting injured. So he sat out for the rest of the game. He only played 20 minutes. So this would have cashed. But either way, it would have been only a 2 and 6 day. So not a good day at all. And honestly, was not a good week in the Discord. It is Monday, so I'll do my weekly recap. You can see we went down 10.3 units. Last night, we got some close ones here. If I show you right here in the announcements, we had this one that was going to cash for a 38x. Keegan Murray did very well in the end of the third quarter and in the fourth quarter. He got like 15 points there. So that was basically what screwed us over to go over that 15.5 points. This was going to pay 38x, and that would have put us up 20 units instead of down 10. But you could see I do have negative weeks. And I show you this, guys, because a lot of you who join the Discord, you expect to win every single day for some reason. No, I never say I win every single day, but I will say I have been winning over the past 20 weeks that the Discord has existed. You could see right here, this is the sum of the past 20 weeks on Prizepicks. We're up 412.1 units. If your unit size was $5, you'd be up 2.5K. If your unit size was $10, you'd be up 5K. So I showed these losing weeks because it's just the reality. We do have losing weeks, and this is kind of the graph of how our wins and losses look. We have peaks and then we go down, but we always come back up past our peaks. So right now we're in a bit of a drought. So now it's probably a good time to get in before we peak again, because that's basically how it has been working for the past 20 weeks. We go up and down, but when we go up, we go way more than we go down. And you can see every 4-week span we're up. Even in the past 4 weeks, we're up 65 units. I don't really care about a week that we go down 10.3, because if next week we go up 30 units, well, then we just flushed out all of last week's losses and we're up an extra 20 units. That's kind of how this Discord works. We work on these high volume 6 flexes, which pay 25x, right? So if you're getting hooked on a one prop, it does hurt, but you're going to keep going. And eventually you're going to see we're going to be at an all-time high. And I always say this when I'm on my down weeks, come back in 1-2 weeks and you're going to see we're going to be well above this 493.6 unit mark. So that is the Discord recap, as I do on Mondays. We're going to get on to the word for the day. I do have some college ball that I'm going to look at. There's a couple leans I'm liking, and then I'm going to go with 2 specific props from here. I'm also going to have some CS2 and some MLBs. So it's going to be a 3-sport slip here. And let's start it off in college ball. Honestly, all I really like on this board is unders. There's not really much to work with, but the first one right here, Zach Edey. I know you guys are probably all writing the over. He is a popular pick. I'm not exactly sure if it's on the over or under. You've seen his past 5 games. He's cleared this 3 out of 5 times. I'm guessing people are going to be wanting to cheer him on the over. Well, the pick that I would go for on Edey is actually the under. You could see a couple sports books do actually have his juice towards the under. So if we go on Zach Edey here, you can see pretty decent juice towards his under 24.5 points, all the way at minus 129. We could even check Bet365, for example, on Edey points. You're going to see that he has juice towards the under. So what does that mean? It means his under is more likely to hit than his over. And since we're getting it at that flat rate on 24.5 on Prizepicks, you definitely want to be on his under. Now you're probably thinking, oh, this is a championship game. Of course he's going to go over that. That's why people are probably taking all overs in this specific game. But I mean, guys, it's not some sort of secret that this is a championship game and that you're the only one that knows it's a championship game. If anything, there's only going to be tighter defense in a game like that. Starters in college ball basically play 40 minutes either way. So there's not going to be any difference in minutes. There's only going to be a difference in the intensity of how these players are playing. And sportsbooks know this. They know how championship games work. They know everything that you know. They know past 5. They know all this stuff. So that's why I'm just trusting the sportsbooks in this situation that they're leaning towards Zach Edey's under. I don't really have to look into it deeper. Now, I'm not even going to take this pick. I just think that if you're grabbing Zach Edey, you should be leaning towards that under. I'm actually going to go with Alex Caravan on his under. Maybe this is something you guys could get behind. He hasn't cleared this in his past 4 out of 5. Well, that's not the reason I'm taking him, but similar to Zach Edey, you're going to see that he does have juice towards his under points. And the reason I'm taking Caravan over Edey is because I do want to stack him with an assister on his team. That's going to be Tristan Newton on the under 6 assists. Now, he has cleared this 3 out of 5 times, but I think the 6 line is slightly too high. We are getting that push potential at 6.0. And if we go and check the prop once again on Newton, he's going to be set at 5.5. Yes, he does have heavy juice towards the over 5.5, but since we're stacking up with Caravan on the under points, we kind of want these guys to be hitting together, and we're still getting that half point in comparison to the sports books. So that's definitely what I'm going with for my college ball plays. Another one that you could consider in the mix is Fletcher Lawyer here on the under 1.5 3 points made. Another prop that has cleared more often than not in the past 5, but another prop that also has juice towards his under. So you're going to see Lawyer here. He actually has the most juice towards the under out of any prop that I've seen. So under 1.5 all the way at minus 135. Again, guys, if you don't know what this means, you have to lay down 135 to win $100 here. If I go to plus 102, it means I have to lay down about $98 to win $100. What does that mean? They're saying they'll pay you more on the over because they know it's less likely to happen. So the under is definitely the play. If you're grabbing Fletcher Lawyer, also on his points, I'm liking the under 10 points. So if you're playing the specific player, definitely want to be on his unders. He's set at 10 on Prizepicks. 9.5 on the sports books. So those are my college ball plays. Let's move on to CS2. So what you're looking for in CS2 is a longer game with a lot of rounds. And we're going 2 players from this Red Candidates game here. We're going with Riggy on his over 22.5 map 1 2 kills in this game versus Bestia, not versus Bounty Hunters. It's at 5:30 p.m. So you want to be on this one specifically, not on the Bounty Hunters game that starts at 1 p.m. Now we're also going to go over to Bestia and grab one of their players on the over 24.5 map 1 2 kills. So what we want here is a CS2 game that goes on to a lot of rounds. The more rounds there are, the more likely both of these guys are to go over their props because they're playing versus each other. So they're playing in the same exact game. Especially if one of these maps go to overtime, you could pretty much clear your kills prop in one single map. So that's what we're going for, because in CS2 it's 1st to 13, so you could win 13-1, but we want a game that's kind of like 13-11, maybe even 13-13 pushes to overtime, something like that. So this is why we're going with these 2 guys. So that's how the correlation within CSGO works. And the reason we're going for these 2 guys specifically is if we go to Underdog, you're going to see that we're getting immense value on these. Versus Bestia, you could see that Riggy here is set at 24 kills on maps 1+2. On Prizepicks, we're getting about 22.5. We're getting 1.5 kills of protection there. And then on Naz here, similar concept. He's set at 26. We're getting him all the way at 24.5. So another 1.5 kills of value right there. So that is very simple in CS2. There's not much to look into there. Now to end it off, we're going to MLB. I'm eyeing this Chicago Cubs game. 7.5 total, which is quite low. We're going to be going with 2 unders here. We also checked the Chicago Cubs team total runs. It's kind of projected at 3.5, 50-50 at that 3.5 mark. So we're going to be going with 2 unders on 2 batters here on their hits, runs, and RBIs. Now there's a couple choices here. I was looking at Bellinger, I was looking at Hap, and I was looking at Suzuki here because these guys are obviously in the aligning order that you want to be taking unders on together, because if Hap's not getting his hit, he's not on base, so Suzuki's less likely to run him in, things like that. We're going for hits, runs, RBIs. The less these 3 guys are hitting in this specific batting order, the less likely they are to go over their hit, run, RBI together. You got Hap, Suzuki, and Cody. Now, the reason I would go with any of these guys is honestly because the batting order is the most important thing. But you could see Suzuki's like the only one that doesn't have juice on either side of his over-under. See, Cody here has a bit of juice towards his under at -120, and Hap also has juice towards his under 120. But Hap and Cody are 1 batter apart, so I wouldn't be mad if you go Hap and Suzuki on their unders. I'm probably going to go with Hap and Cody because they do have that juice. And honestly, the correlation between first batter and third batter is pretty high because they're likely to be batting in the same inning either way. So we're going to go over to the MLB, grab Hap on his under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, and then we're going to type in Cody and grab his under 1.5 hits, run, RBIs. Again, if Hap's not hitting, Cody is less likely to get a run or an RBI because no one's going to be on base for him to run in. And there's also the factors that if the opposing pitcher is doing well, of course, the opposing batters are going to be less likely to get their hits. And overall, it's a low total game. So I'm very comfortable with these 2 unders here. And that is going to be all the stacks for today. College ball, CS2, and MLB. Let's get it, guys.